Hi everyone, this is Christine Josty from Mail Something Pretty, and today I wanted to show you how to make these fun bookmarks. I love to make bookmarks. I like to give them away. I love to read, and I just think it's fun. Sometimes I even include them in library books that I borrow. I just put them back in, and so someone gets a treat the next time they can take out a book. So these are ones I made. Actually, we did them for my club yesterday, and it just uses the Parisian Beauty. Actually, we used one stamp from this set and then the matching dies, and we're going to use the Eiffel Tower die. And I was actually just going to show you how I kind of made the tassel, because I came up with a nice way of how to attach it. I was struggling a little bit on how to do that, and I wanted to show you because I didn't find a good way on Pinterest. And then I decided I wanted to show you a little tip on cutting out with this intricate die, because there's so many little pieces. So let me show you that first. So you can use whatever die cutting machine you have. I have the Big Shot that Stampin' Up! Used to sell, and they're coming out with a brand new one this summer, which would be the summer of 2020. I'm very excited about that. So there's a few tips. So again, there's a lot of dies, and I actually don't even know if they still sell the precision plate. Probably not. They used to have that, which helped, but then the plates got really warped. You can see mine is really well loved. So one option is to use a shim. So I just put just a piece of cardstock underneath and put my pad on there, and then I'll put my paper and the die. And then I'm using a clear plate on top, and so sometimes I rotate my clear plates and my used plates. It gives them a little longevity, but by leaving the newer one on top, it won't get as marked. So you run it through once. So you can run it through again, but what I discovered, if you take the two sandwich the plates and you flip them upside down, and then you run them through again. So really the die now, the teeth before were going down, now the teeth are kind of going up. If you flip it over and just go through again, it gets a different pressure. And so it helps. I don't know if you can see, but you can kind of see all the marks actually went through. And then I use, this is old, but they have a new brush that actually goes on the take a pick tool. You just take one of the sides off and put the brush on, but I don't have it because I have this one. And then I was using it before. The brush used to come with a foam pad, but you can get a foam pad anywhere, but it fits really nicely in one of the larger of the stamp boxes, and then you just run it through. And if you don't have a one, you can use just a poker to poke some of them through. But look how nice, you can see the contrast. Look how nice that came out. Like I hardly do, I think there's like two things I need to poke out. Here and here, and then one down here. And so that little trick of turning the whole plate upside down really seems to help. So that's my tip number one for you today. Get this out of the way. All right. And then, let's see, where did my, looking for, I thought I had everything here, and I see it like 3 feet away. So I'm going to unplug myself for 1 sec. Sorry about that. Time I think I have everything I need, and I don't, and then I'm plugged in and then I can't get up. Okay, so I did one, but I just want to show you because it's on watercolor paper, it needs to dry. So I used my watercolored pencils, which I have been using more and more. It's nice because they give you lots of colors without having to buy tons and tons of ink, and you can really kind of be sloppy about it. So you can either go, I'll show you, this one I did a dark, and I did a light, so the pressing of the light or the dark. I'm going to do this one a little light because of the stamp I want to stamp on it. I'll show you. So that was Daffodil Delight. This is Granny Apple Green, Coastal Cabana. So I think I'm mixing the assortment 1 and 2s of the watercolored pencils. Okay, so see how not my perfect coloring on purpose. And then you use an aqua painter I'm just squeezing a little water because I wanted to get it wet. And then, see how nice it just colors? And the cool thing is then you can blend in the color. So if I want to bring a little green up into the yellow, and here's that. If you need more water, just squeeze a little water in there. I'll bring some of the blue up. So these bookmarks I cut 2 1/4 by 6. You can cut them any size you want, but that's the size I did. Okay, so I'm going to let that set aside and dry. And I already have one done. It actually doesn't take too long. The watercolor paper dries pretty quickly. Okay, so really the bookmark's almost done. We are going to take our Eiffel Tower and some glue. And the Eiffel Tower is a little bit too thick to go on the whole thing, but I kind of like it offset. So I'm not even going to glue the whole thing. I'm going to put some glue on these lines, which makes it easy, and on the top up here. And then I'm just going to dab, this is actually the multi-purpose glue. You can certainly use the fine tip glue as well, but I kind of like this one. So I'm just going to dab a couple dots here and there. So not tons and tons, but. And then I'm going to just place it down like that. Oop. Okay, let it sit for a second. And then I'm going to stamp. Remember, I use the Parisian Beauty. Life is a Magnificent Adventure, which I just think is perfect for a bookmark because you're reading adventures. I'm using the Stays On black ink because I did introduce water to this bookmark. So this is the black that you use whenever you have water involved. And you want to make sure you ink it good because the watercolor paper has little bumps and grooves. Okay, it doesn't fit that way, so that's why I did it sideways. And I'm using my ribbon scissors because my other ones are just out of reach. So I just cut that off, okay? And so the glue's gonna dry. And then to make the tassel, which is really the whole purpose of why I wanted to make this video, I'm gonna punch a hole. This is an old punch, but I like it. It was called the Crocodile. But what I like about it is when you squeeze it, sometimes I have a hard time with my wrist and it's an easier squeeze. But you can use any kind of hole punch you want. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. I'm using black embroidery floss. You can use any color twine you want, even yarn. I'm going to cut I'm not even measuring them, 2 pieces. I don't know, it's probably about 8 inches long approximately. And the first one, I'm going to put it through and tie a knot. Actually a double knot. So 1, 2. And then I'm going to just take them around, twirl them around and do another knot. I don't know what this is called, what kind of knot it's called, but so it's about half an inch down. And the reason why I discovered you need to do this is I was making tassels before, and I'll show you, and so we'll put the string through the tassel, and then I was trying to figure out how to tie it on, and I could just tie it on and have a knot, but then I'd have like a end of a knot, and I just didn't think that was crisp and clean, so I really struggled, and this is what I came up with, so I think it works. All right, so I'm just going to separate them to make it easier for the next step. I'm going to take my floss again, and I just took, it was like on not a spool or twine thing, and I just wrapped it around the cardboard because it made it easier not getting knots. I'm going to take my 4 fingers and I'm going to wrap it around. I'm not even really counting, but it's usually around like 8 or 10 times. I didn't count. Until however thick you want your tassel, and then cut it. Okay. How I made this one is I took this step, I took my extra string and I looped it through and tied a knot. But what we're going to do instead is going to take this string And we're going to loop this through and tie the knot. So it's the same thing, it's just we're using a piece that's already attached to the bookmark. So I'm going to tie a double knot. Okay, and rather than just have these strings hang up, I'm going to pull them down. So that's why it's just nice and clean and crisp. And then, and you would do this with that style too. You're going to take your extra string and tie another double knot. Again, a half an inch down, depending on how big your tassel is down here. So that's one, and that's two. I'm going to pull all the strings down. I'm going to take my scissors and cut that loop. And then I'm going to just clean up these edges here. So there, isn't that great? You get your nice clean tassel. It's already attached. And it looks so much better than if like I had like another knot right here. So that is how I made. See this one, I did it differently. You can kind of see how there's a knot, I kind of cut it, and there's a different, so I was trying to figure out how to attach it, but I think really this is the best way, the cleanest way. But anyways, those are your kind of your styles, your colors. That is my bookmark, and so that's your project for today. You can do it with any colors, any glue on, whatever. You just don't want for a bookmark to have like too much bumpiness because it really gets smushed in a book. So there is how I had made a tassel. Be sure to check out other tips and tutorials and card posts and lots of information on my website at mailsomethingpretty.com. And be sure to also add yourself to my mailing list so I can send you some weekly emails to get you even more information. Thank you so much for watching. This is Christine. Bye-bye.